All right. So, as stated before, one person that we worked directly with was Jay Bice, who's the head of marketing. And something that stood out to us when we had our different meetings was it's hard getting people's attentions nowadays. Everything competes for their attention. And you'll see in a few why we stated that. So Green Group came up with four different recommendations that we felt were very important to what needed to change within Second Harvest. So the first recommendation was look into hiring more employees for better coverage. Number two was adapting systems that enable better interpersonal communication for everyone. The third recommendation was utilization of all features on platforms like Google Analytics. And the fourth recommendation was practicing diversity, inclusion, activism on all platforms. So right now I'm going to go over recommendation one, which is looking into hiring more employees for better coverage. And within this recommendation, we pointed out two important features, which is branding is important and utilizing available resources. So within branding is important, we said that there should be someone in place to focus on the organization's branding and generation of social media content via planned calendars and with the utilization of the already available resources in order to increase a youthful Second Harvest participation and donations. Social media branding should include scheduled themed posts, stories, and inspiring and interactive videos and posts. So within this, from interviews with management and data collection, and different analysis that we did, we were able to identify that branding and resource utilization is very important in order to increase a more youthful audience, as well as expand that target audience and participation. When we looked at other social media websites and of food banks and other nonprofits such as United Hope, it is very obvious that they focused more on their branding, or they had somebody in place that focused directly on branding. So after some assessing, we believe that it would be very beneficial if they hire interns, possibly for credit, while they are waiting for more funds to properly hire new employees. So these interns' main focus would be on the social media and website development, just like we stated with branding is important. Their main focus would be on developing that website and developing those scheduled themed posts. So Jay mentioned that they were in the need for more people. And with the large recent donation that they received, this was on the horizon. So we made sure that we put this as recommendation one, because this should be a priority in the future. So in the meantime, hiring college interns will bring that young, youthful blood into the organization that can handle their social media platforms that they already have, such as their Facebook and Instagram. And we noticed that they do have a mass following on these platforms. But like we said, utilizing their available resources is very important. So these young interns will be able to bring a new insight, a young blood into that. So they will also be responsible for important jobs like social media, calendar planning, and proper post branding, so that they can reach out to that youthful audience and reach out to more people to attract them on a regular basis. So now we're going to move into recommendation two.
Director of Service Learning, Tiffany Butler, told us that we love what they do, but it's important for our students to feel really involved with their chosen organization. And that's going to lead us into recommendation number two. Recommendation number two was to adapt systems that enable better interpersonal communications for anyone. The first adaptation was to utilize systems to effectively communicate, interact, and collaborate with other individuals or group in a face-to-face setting, such as in staff communication. For communication, there was verbal and then the nonverbal. At the moment, they are currently using whiteboards that we were told using for delivery services, which aren't really communicated as well when everything gets jumbled up. Also, going on to the active listening part, salary and hourly workers that have workplace disputes with each other sometimes, and then the hourly get upset about the climate control. Addressing all these needs will help to find optimal solutions that will be able to better satisfy everybody in the long run. An important way to develop these would be to interact well is important and facilitate the sharing of information, creating good contacts, improving problem-solving skills, enhancing leadership qualities, and developing the strength in relationships. A couple of ways to do this would be to have a staff communication platform to bring up issues, such as Monday.com, which would give visuals on products to see how's everything going, see if products are on time, ahead of schedule, or if they're delayed and what parts necessarily might be needed. Another one would be Google Workspace, which is a project management form, which would help with the delivery schedule, so no more needs for the whiteboards. And then lastly, we have Blink. Blink would be for volunteer basis. It's more like a blog where you can post the pictures and issues, and we have registration links, so that way it's easier for everybody.
Okay, recommendation number 3. Something that we've noticed is that Second Harvest is lacking to properly utilize all of the functions that are available on Google Analytics. Previously, some former colleagues of ours offered the organization an in-depth analysis of their activity on the platform, but it seems that none of these suggestions for improvement were ever acted upon. But we think that this is really important because when used to its fullest potential, the platform can help both search engine optimization and conversion optimization by determining the specific performance of each page on the website and which ad campaigns drive the most traffic. We recommend making use of 3 specific functions. First, competitive benchmarking can be used to compare Second Harvest website performance against other competitors or the industry standard performance. We can also compare the data to Second Harvest's own previous data and metrics to determine improvements. Second, the platform can also be helpful in deciding which Google ads are driving the most traffic. Tagging campaigns can help determine which URLs have historically been most effective in attracting users to the site. And third, goals on analytics are pre-decided tasks that the company is seeking for visitors to complete, such as filling out a form or making a donation. Once a user completes a goal, the platform tracks this as a successful conversion. And we really believe that making use of these functions will help drive quality traffic to the company's website.
The company's website and social media does not seem to promote practicing diversity and inclusion, so our 4th and final recommendation is practicing diversity inclusion activism on all platforms. 3/4 of business owners say a company's marketing and advertising should be more reflective of the diverse and inclusive business they aspire to be, and more than half of customers say if they don't see themselves represented in a company's marketing and communications, they are less likely to want to support that company. With this in place, they are showing support for their employees and all, as well as other competition has successfully done it. Black Lives Matter is a perfect example of something the company could promote on all their platforms, as well as promoting mental health awareness for their workers and volunteers.
Okay, so, and we can't emphasize this enough, these are just recommendations. At the end of the day, we can't tell the organization what they should do, but we would love to see their employees feeling less stressed and more heard in the end. Their organization will thrive with the right steps taken, and they already are. I mean, they do so much work with 35 million pounds of food typically served a year, and 65 million pounds served in 2020 alone. They've done a lot for Louisiana, and we want to see them be able to thrive even more. So let's make the organization better for everybody, the volunteers, employees, donors, and consumers alike. And just 2 things to keep in mind. It's a slow and steady race, but you'll get there eventually. It might take a few months, but you will notice major improvements. And the more, the merrier. Don't feel too stressed about it, because when you have more hands on deck, you'll have less to worry about, and you'll have more focus on those important features and platforms that need that attention that we mentioned before. Finally, we want to thank Second Harvest again so much for agreeing to partner with us. We wish we could have gotten to do a little bit more, but with the time that we did, have, we were able to come up with some awesome recommendations that we think will definitely do you guys justice. So feel free to reach out to us with any questions you may have, or concerns or comments or follow up. You can always reach out to us, either through me, Victoria, or Taylor C., our point of contact. And thank you so much. We hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.